How have we not talked about Graviton Lance? This weapon was buffed at the beginning of this season, and all of us, or maybe just me, completely forgot about it. Essentially, guys, Graviton Lance had its catalyst change from Hidden Hand to granting Vorpal Weapon and Turnabouts. Now, for my PvP players that are like, yo, Hidden Hand was meta? Trust me, Graviton Lance is still snagging crit shots, no problem. Matter of fact, if you check on Dim, the exotic catalyst actually shows not only Vorpal Weapon and Turnabout, but plus 15 aim assists and plus 20 range. So essentially, it's still giving you Hidden Hand without, of course, the Hidden Hand Illuminati triangle, right? So before my PvP players jump up and go, it's a nerf? No, this is all around a buff. Now, Vorpal got a buff a while back, primarily on primary weapons, granting you 20% more damage against bosses, vehicles, and of course, champions. We also have an artifact mod this season for pulse rifles against barrier champions, which happens to synergize with the perk Turnabouts. Turnabouts says that upon breaking a combatant shield or guardian shield while in super, you will be granted 30 HP as an overshield for 10 seconds. Now I know a lot of people would say, Cross, that's literally next to nothing, but maybe that's the difference there. Perhaps that 30 HP can keep you alive in a Grandmaster Nightfall in that 1v1 against that boomer. Good chance it won't, but maybe. And I'm just gonna side with maybe on this. The big benefit here is obviously Vorpal and the increased damage from there, which has led us to, of course, make a build here for Graviton Lance. Fellas, you're gonna be on Warlock. You're gonna be taking advantage of Void Walker abilities like Pocket Singularity, Scatter Grenades, and Healing Rift, aspects such as Feed the Void and Chaos Accelerant, fragments like Echo of Instability, Undermining Expulsion, and of course, our exotic Graviton Lance paired with none other than Verity's Brow. Of course, we're gonna have some swap offs here at the end. I do want to mention though, even though we're in Solar 3.0, that's not to say that Void 3.0 isn't still potent, fellas. Like, what the hell? You can still use Void 3.0. And inside of PvP, you see hunters all the time with Invis. So my PvP mains, y'all are definitely still using Void 3.0. But for my PvE players, dude, it's still very good subclasses, if not even better than Solar. Now, mods, we're gonna be taking advantage of Font of Might, Grenade Kickstart, Elemental Ordnance, 2 Armor of the Dying Star, Seeking Wells, Well of Tenacity, 2 Bomber perks, and of course, Bountiful Wells. Granted, depending on the activity you're in, you can swap things up. You can add some artifact mods here at the end, but most of the artifact mods, especially things like Withering Heat, apply to Solar. What's so beautiful about this build is no matter what, whether this season or the next or beyond, it's still gonna be good, unless of course Bungie nerfs Graviton Lance. I don't see that happening. This build is able to stand on its own without any help from artifact mods, and that's what makes it special to me. Now, the focus of this build is obviously grenades and Graviton. You're gonna be able to enhance both of these, increasing their damage and constantly keeping those abilities up. Now, in order to increase damage of Graviton Lance, we're gonna be targeting Font of Might and Volatile Rounds. Now, Volatile Rounds no longer has an artifact. I know we have Volatile Flow last season, which pretty much made every Void weapon super potent, and the only way to really proc it is by getting grenade kills using Echo of Instability. This is still fantastic damage, guys, and stacked with Font of Might, it gets even nastier. Now, what this means is we need to guarantee us getting grenade kills. Best way to do this is, of course, supercharging your grenades. This does insane damage to enemies, and Verity's Brow is such a good one here for grenade kills, as weapon final blows with a damage type matching your subclass energy, grants death throws, which provides grenade damage bonus, and grants you grenade energy. Now, I also like Nezarec Sin, and you can, of course, take advantage of Nezarec Sin with this build as well. The beautiful thing about death throws is that when you throw a grenade, it actually allows nearby allies to gain increased grenade regeneration. And the buffs here from death throws is really nice. Each stack granting 50% in that base grenade regeneration rate and 20% more increased grenade damage. Maxes out at 5 stacks and lasts for 11 seconds. And the allies that gets these benefits when you throw a grenade have to be within 18 meters of you, which is a huge radius. When combining this with Chaos Accelerant, the projectiles on your scatter grenade track really well and do a ton of damage, pretty much always guaranteeing you that kill. Now, when adding Well of Ordnance plus Bountiful Wells, which spawns 2 Void Wells, we'll be using this to proc Well of Tenacity and of course Font of Might. Now again, for Verity's Brow, both Grenade, Kickstart, and Devour will contribute to our grenade regen, so we get it back as fast as possible. And with this, both our grenades and Graviton Lance will be doing crazy amounts of explosion damage, and in most lower level activities, you'll have complete control of adds. And even in higher end activities, remember, Exotics got a 40% damage buff, exotic primaries that is, inside of Witch Queen. So Graviton was already doing good, but with that increase of 20% against champions, and we have an artifact mod for it, and we have turnabouts. Oh, and Graviton Lance also spawns mini black holes that will detonate and spawn additional void projectiles on kills. How can you not want to use this weapon? And I think the only reason why people overlook it is because everyone's in this solar only mindset. Now, don't kid yourself. This build is not crazy for in-game. It's not like you're gonna go through there and completely clear a room out. But look, when it comes to Grandmaster content, that's never the case, right? Graviton has Vorpal. It's got Turnabout, which is wonderful against those barrier champions. It's an anti-barrier pulse. And with the likes of Verity's Brow, it will serve its purpose in contributing to your team. Now, there are other options outside of Verity's Brow if you're not getting as many kills. And that's where I like to make the swaps in in-game content. Things like Controverse Hole, where charged Void Grenades return grenade energy on hit. I actually really like this with Vortex Grenades, as your Vortex Grenade can proc twice and get even more grenade energy back based on the impact of the grenade and the last few ticks that the grenade does damage with. The other exotic is one we already brought up, which is of course Nezrak's Sin, which pretty much rewards you at all times as long as you're getting void damage kills. And this is any void damage kills. This is weapon kills. This is ability kills. All of this is contributing to that recharge rate for your void abilities. The other exotic, which may be one to consider, is of course Nothing Manacles. Now personally, I have to test out Nothing Manacles again. I'm not sure if it has been fixed, but originally they had issues with their tracking. And that's the thing about Nothing Manacles. Yes, it grants you a secondary scatter grenade, but it also enables tracking for that scatter grenade. Not sure if Bungie has fixed that, but we'll be looking into it. Either way it goes, Warlocks really do have a lot here that synergizes very well with Graviton Lance and Void 3.0. And this is a build that is going to continue to do well in the future seasons. Now, if you absolutely want to add an artifact mod to this build, the only one that I've come across that can synergize here is actually Revitalizing Blast, where stunning a champion causes it to ignite and clears your shield stun. Now understand, this doesn't really synergize with Void 3.0 because we're not taking advantage of big ignitions like we would with Solar 3.0. But I'm just bringing that up, guys, if you just want to use an artifact mod to synergize here for that extra bit of damage, and you definitely can do that even with Graviton Lance and Void-based weapons. Now granted, this of course rules out things like Rays of Precision, Flaming Harvesting, which are fantastic mods that are tied to our artifact this season, but those are solar related mods, which of course won't work here for Graviton. And remember guys, the mod you want to see return, and I hope it does, because it would make Graviton even nastier, is Energy Accelerants. If you remember, that artifact mod actually doubled the damage here of Graviton Lance and that explosive damage. I miss that mod so much. It was my favorite mod for Crown Spitter, and it would work so well here for Graviton Lance. So guys, try it out. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.